Hello and welcome to Trojan Talk. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. With me today is Jenny Meadows, here to talk about the Pied Pipers here at Troy University. Thank you for joining me here today.
Thank you for having me.
And the Pied Pipers, most people are associate the Pied Piper with the old fairy tale, but this is a group that now, surprisingly, I'm going to say this, 50 years on campus, and you're celebrating 50 years of this program here in the theater department at Troy University. But for the folks at home who aren't familiar, who think, Pied Pipers, what is this? Tell us what the Pied Pipers are and what it's all about and why it's sustained for 50 years here at the university.
Well, people who have seen the Pied Pipers remember the experience. And I'm talking about people who are in their 30s and 40s say, I remember when the Pied Pipers came to my school, because the performances targeted toward children are just phenomenal, because we cater to children. We are performing for them. We're giving the children the chance to really use their imaginations, and it's like reading the best storybook. It's like a storybook comes to life, and the characters are so vivid and the movements are just right. It's highly stylized and children love it, and schools want us to come back year after year because honestly they're just that good.
That good. And this is an acting troupe for children's theater that is made up of Troy University students that, as we said, we're celebrating the 50th year, started way back by Dr. David Dye, who has taught many of us. He taught me when I was in school, and I know he had a big part of the program in theater, but inspiring this and bringing this all about and having these students, these Troy University theater students, be a part of this. As someone who was a former student and now works with students, what does that mean to have that kind of outlet for the students and for community outreach?
Well, in colleges, there really aren't a lot of opportunities for students to rehearse performing for children or to be up in front of a younger audience, because that is a genre that's very specific and you have to be trained. Otherwise, those subtle nuance choices that actors make don't really come through for children. And for children, you have to be so specific, and because they are tough audiences. They're a tough sell. They're like, I don't believe you. You have to, from the time you walk onto stage, like from your head to your toes, you have to just radiate energy, because when they're on the playground playing pretend, they do the same thing. And as a performer for children, you have to become like them. You have to be childlike and a little bit innocent, and you have to be willing to play and have fun and just breathe the story. It's a lot of fun.
And imagination is a big deal. You talk about the way they play on the playground, but one of the things about the Pied Pipers when they perform, unlike normal theatrical performances, it's stripped down.
Right.
Imagination is pretty much one of the big elements of the stage.
I think that's why it's so memorable, because a lot of times we go to the theater and we're expecting spectacle and lights, but with the Pied Pipers, it's just all about the story. The performers don't use props, they pantomime everything, and we don't have sets. There are very colorful costumes, but that's it. So our actors have to work really hard, but they do a great job.
And you're celebrating by putting on a show this weekend, an opportunity for, now normally you go to schools, but this is a time you're inviting people to come see you. And talk about what y'all are doing this weekend, the performance you're putting on.
Well, the shows start at 10 o'clock. We'll have stories every 30 minutes. And in between the stories, we have stations set up for the children. So they're going to watch a story and then go have some fun and then come back and watch another story. And the different stations, of course, we're going to practice social distancing, and we'll have Germ-X and all of those things. But we have several stations, including the Wiggle and Move station, where children will work with our theater education students, and they'll play games such as freeze dance and energy ball. And then we also have the arts and crafts station where they'll make some fun fall themed crafts like candy corn necklaces and fun leaf wreaths that they can take home and hang on their doors. And then we have the cookie walk. You've heard of the cake walk, right? Like they have at fall festivals.
Yes, so You're going to do cookies instead of cakes?
Cookies, great American cookies. We're not talking Chips Ahoy. We're talking about
The good stuff.
legit cookies. Yes, and there will be cotton candy.
All right.
And all of this is free.
For the children to come
For
and
the
check this out.
children.
And this will be in Janice Hawkins Cultural Arts Park. The performance will be on the amphitheater stage there, right?
Yes.
And then everything else will kind of be in the park area
Right.
from there. And it said it's open to the public. Any children want to come check it out, they can come see it.
Children and adults. This is fun for kids of all ages, like 0 to 110.
All
Come
right.
on out.
Well, if someone 110 wants to come and check out the show, 10 to 12 Saturday, Janice Hawkins Park. I want to thank you for joining me here today, Jenny, and good luck. And it sounds like it's going to be a fun time. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us on today's edition of Trojan Talk.